All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening to those in Monrovia, Liberia. I know it's about 8 p.m. now, your time. We say good evening. Welcome to another edition of Liberia Shall Rise. I am your host, Augustine Sharif. I'm going to be joined here by Mr. Emmanuel Sapolucia, our health expert and our health guru. There he is. I'm not ready to unveil this man yet. We got planned for him for Liberia, so we'll keep it hidden. But we say welcome to the broadcast, welcome to the show. Those of you who have missed my voice, I have been somewhere for the past 3 weeks. I am back, and so we are ready to roll. And those in the US, in Europe, I know it's afternoon to you as well. And in the US, we say good afternoon to you. Welcome to another edition of Liberia Shall Rise. Today, we're not going to be talking about healthcare. I know Sapolucia, he got the healthcare watch on his dashboard there. That's what makes him the healthcare guru. But Mr. Sapolucia, how you doing, boss? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I miss you guys. You guys left me dry. But welcome back. Welcome back. Instead of doing monologue, at least we have at least somewhat dialogue today, so that would be good for the program.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm prepared to talk to you, man, because all that energy you've been building up, these guys left me. When I catch them, I will give it to them. So we say welcome, my man. But thank you for holding down the fort. I think this is what make the show. Always in good hands. Hey, my brother Dennis Ben. Hey, my brother, you'll kill me. I drove right past your beautiful city. I did not even stop to say hello to you. Hey, but my man, we'll talk.
And Ben, to be fair with you, I told him we are leaving. I said he must start with Tutota. When he went to Liberia, I told him he should start with Tutota. He still refused to.
No, I didn't refuse to. I mean, I was at the mercy of the driver. The man was taking me to Nimba. We drove through Tutota. I said, hey, my man, look at Tutota City. I wanted to stop to see Ben, but hey, I was at the mercy of the driver and those that were taking me around. So, but no, guys, we are here. We'll get the show on the road. And today, though, what I want to talk about was some of the experiences I had in Liberia. I am not going to go into the nitty-gritty things. Sapolucia, when we all come from Liberia, we all got different stories. And I know as soon as I came back to the US, one of your first questions to me was, how is the country? So I'm ready to give you a small piece of of the nugget. So today, though, I want us to look at this beautiful thing called electricity. Electricity. Hey, I'm so happy I have Dennis here on the show today because Dennis City is illuminating with electricity in Tutota City. So, let's talk about LEC. We'll talk about LEC. We're not going to go into the nitty gritty, how they procure electricity, what they do with it. But Sapolucia, I want to ask you, when it comes, hey, brother, look, I came home. When I came home, I was expecting at some point in time, I don't know, I've not even been away for a long time. For some reason, I was expecting, at any point in time now, LEC will go.
PTSD, that's what we call it in healthcare.
Then I caught myself. I said, I'm not across the ocean anymore.
Yeah, that's PTSD right there. Yeah, and you in social work, so you're supposed to know that.
That's it. I'm not in Liberia anymore. But Sapolucia, on a serious note, I want to start our show today by just saying something that I heard the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia say when I was in the country. And most people don't listen to the news, they don't follow the news, but I love the news. So I was listening to him on one of the most popular radio stations in the country. And as I was listening to the broadcast, one analogy that he made or something that he said really caught my attention. He talked about the importance of electricity in the country because that was the whole topic that they were asking him about. He talked about the importance of electricity. And then he made this analogy. He said, think with me for a second. He said, imagine someone is on the operation table. I'm going to try to paraphrase it as much as possible. He said, imagine someone is on the operation table and the doctor is performing operation, surgery, like we call it. Doctor is performing surgery. And then, boom, LEC goes. that person is not just, I mean, it's not just equipment issue, it's not just this, but you are talking about life and death situation. When I heard that, I was driving the car to myself. When I heard that, I did it's the thing that Nigerian people do. I did like this. God forbid. God forbid that that should ever be the case. Because even if you are talking about a healthcare facility, you in the healthcare, and you know you're performing pertinent operation surgery, you will say, you know what? I don't know much about this LEC. It is so unstable. We are going to go to our power grid that we have, whether it's our power generator we have, until this surgery is over. You would think that's where you go, right? You say, this is what, because this we can control, it is stable, and this particular operation, we are not going to put someone's life at risk. I use that story to start our show, Sapolicia, because you have also experienced the LEC issue in the country. So I want us to start from there. Let's talk about the importance of having electricity in the country. Let's just start from there. Give me your overview, and then we'll continue the show, bro. Let's go.
Oh no, yeah. So and I watched that particular broadcast too. When the vice president was on air too, I watched it live, and I kind of resonated with what he was saying, because I just thought about it when we were here. I remember Harvey came through, Hurricane Harvey came through, and the power went off at our health. I mean, our at LBJ at the time. They had to have Hilo come in and pick up some of those staff or those patients that were in critical condition when the generator was kind of giving up, right? And it was life and death issues, right? Because you got, especially the patient that were on life support, so they had to evacuate those patients immediately. So we have, I think that day, about 10 different helicopters that came in to pick up those patients. But you see, the thing about it, it was good, it came from the vice president, because they are the one in charge. They are the one leading this government or this administration. Now, what will electricity do for the country? Security is one, right? Because most of the crimes that we know that are committed in the country are normally done in the darkness. So once you have light everywhere, well, security will improve. That's one. Two, it will encourage.
No, let's stop and let me hold you there for a second, Sabolisa. This is a very important point. I don't want us to gloss over it for any moment. Yeah, so let's talk about that point that you just made, the security aspect. When I was in Liberia, here was my experience. I had only been in the country for a week, and I knew the schedule. I'm not speaking about the entire city. I'm speaking about my area where I live.
Yeah.
I knew the schedule. I can tell you by 6 a.m., electricity came. They kept it to about noon. They took it away from us, and then I never saw it again until 6, or maybe they brought it around 7:30, and it just stayed for like an hour. They took it off, and then they rationed it to somewhere else. And so that was the schedule. So the entire time I was there, brother, I was running generator. You spoke a very important point. You talk about the security factor.
Yes.
If the city is lit and everywhere is illuminating with electricity, people who have criminal intent, even if your yard is not secure with security alarm or any of those things, but the fact that you can see people entering the yard, it deters criminals from coming in. So let's stay on that point for example for a second. Let's talk about that because it's a very important point that you just raised. I don't want us to just gloss over.
No, it's true. But do you know that in the last, I can say almost 20 years, there is no longer a downtown Monrovia? Have you thought about it? There is no longer a downtown Monrovia. Back in the day when we were growing up, you would hear these broadcasts on Channel 8. Yep. This is Kwame Clement reporting from downtown Monrovia. Charles William, this Aaron Colley from downtown Monrovia. Those are things that we used to relate to when we were growing up. But today there is no downtown Monrovia. Because downtown is supposed to be lit out 24 hours. People are supposed to be there 24 hours doing businesses and other stuff. So security, and because of the lack of electricity, businesses cannot operate in a night. That is also creating a downtown in the economy, right? Because you and I, where you live, where I live, businesses are open 24 hours. People are working 24 hours. You got people employ businesses 24 hours. So because of lack of security, the country is losing money. it's creating unemployment in the country. It's creating higher unemployment in the country. So yes, okay. I know the last time I was there. Well, normally I'm in by 7 o'clock. I'm in. I don't go out after 7. I think the only time I stay out late when one of us are over there, then I would stay and then drive straight to my place. But I'm not outdoor because I'm in the fence with you guys, and then we'll go straight to the other fence. But because of lack of security, from Johnson Street all the way to Duco, that place is no-go zone. I think after 9 o'clock, I don't know whether it still is 2026, but that was a no-go zone 2024. Okay, so I mean, electricity is just something that we need. It creates job security. It creates protection for people. It creates food security. Because think about it. Look at what happened to our commodities that come from the interior, right? If we had 24 hours electricity, somebody can build a storage unit that will maintain the food that come from out of from the interior, right? From the rural area. When you bring it to Douala. Think about it. I mean, if you had taken a stroll down Douala on Sunday morning, because normally a lot of people don't sell on Sunday. You go there, you see plantains, rotten plantains, potato greens, pepper, all over the place. Why? Because we do not have storage unit to maintain those, and it has to be done by electricity, right? So look, it's a lot of security issue, not just the robber and all that other stuff. We're talking job security is not there, right? So so security is a big deal, and healthcare, again, healthcare. Because for example, if I want to go open a laboratory, it will cost me more money to maintain my reagents, my devices, because most of our machines has to be at a certain temperature. And that is why when you go to Liberia, most of the laboratories that I visited, the temperature in the refrigerator and in the room is hotter than outside. And then I've been wondering, how are you running tests to give an accurate result? So it's a whole lot of issues that a whole lot of problems electricity can solve that the vice president is talking about. I know he's emphasizing the life and death issue when it comes to surgery, but let us look at the day-to-day activity that is going on. What electricity can do for the day-to-day activity to maintain those lives that are there, right?
And so again, like you alluded to, most of the crimes that take place in the country, most of those, sometimes you wake up in the morning and look, I'm not saying that is happening now because I did not witness it in the country, but that used to be the story for the longest. You wake up in the morning, they say, oh, we found a dead body here. We found a body on the other side. And so the issue of electricity becomes pertinent to the security of the people. And I know you have mentioned something about businesses closing early. So definitely, I think we're just going to go into the economic factor as well. We're going to go into the economic factor as well. Because I remember when I was just a few times when I was in Liberia, Sabalusia, for some reason, I forgot where I was. The night before, because we have been running a generator, when we run the generator, sometimes we can only run one AC unit, right? So I said, let me go ahead and get fan. It was after 7 p.m. So I said, let me go, and get fan from one of the stores. And Sabulu said, I'll kid you not. By 7:30, when I got to I drove that entire ELWA area. All of those stores that I could have purchased fan from, they were all closed. And this was not Sunday. I'm talking a weekday. They were all closed. They were closed. And anybody who lives in that area can bear me witness. I'm not making this up. Those stores were closed. And the very first thing that comes to your mind is, well, they are closing early because of the instability of electricity, number one. And, the high crime rate. You keep the store open, and then someone just come and just walk in your store and attack you in the night with your candlelight or whatever. You can't do it. So people close when the sun is still up. They close their stores, they close their shop, and they get that they get out of the way. The only places that still open that operate big time, because most of these places got generators, are the entertainment spots. So you go down that boulevard, you still see music everywhere. People blast. entertainment spots because they have that generators blasting. They are not depending on LEC. And because of that, those people can still continue to run their businesses. Nobody come and run in there and say, I come and steal from when hundreds of people sitting there drinking beer, who the armed robber come and walk there and say, I come and steal from people. You're that. And so let's talk about the economic impact of the country. Just look at investors. Look at it from the perspective of investors. We complain in the country that the private sector is not growing. We complain in the country that NGOs are not staying long. We are complaining that, look, young people in the country, they are not working because there is no job. Look at the factor that electricity plays into all of the cries that we've been having.
So, Mr. Sherry, let me take us back to the 90s. The 90s, the Bushra Island, especially between 92 to the early 2000s, we had somewhat steady electricity in most of the homes, right? During the war. And if you notice during those times, you will see young people like some of us and some of the women, they were selling cold water and ice.
I was one of those.
Okay.
Right in front of Looking Town Cinema. That's why I used to sell my cold water and ice.
Exactly. Because we had this steady electricity. Sometimes people will put that stuff in the freezer. That is something that was an income for that to support that family in the absence of public employment or private employment, right?
Yeah.
So just that, and that is how it impacts just the community. Don't forget about the big stuff, but the impact that electricity has just on the guy who is in the community. If you have steady electricity, if the man is paying $50 a month, right? He or she buys that little freezer, and it can sustain them, especially during the dry season where the place is hot. Everybody wants to drink cool water or have their beverages cold. Sure. That's an income, right? That's an economic income in that community.
In that community, yeah,
in that community, and that guy is able to sustain. That person is able to sustain himself or their family, right? And they can contribute to that community, right?
Yeah.
But if we look at a bigger picture, so you're asking investors to come into the country. Let's say you're asking Emmanuel to come and open a laboratory on the Bushra Island or somewhere there in Monrovia. But then he has to buy a generator that he has to maintain.
Sure.
That will have to go into the cost of services that are provided. That becomes a burden on the citizens or those that are receiving those services. So that is how it spreads, right?
Yeah.
Like we all know today, the war in Iran, right? As gas prices go, or what happened right today? Right before the war, we're paying $1.99 for gallon of gas. Today, gallon of gas, the place I normally buy from, it used to be the cheapest, supposed to be the cheapest, Sam's. Now it's $3, I think, 79 cents.
The people in Liberia will be jealous of you because they're paying over $6 for a gallon of gas in Liberia.
Yeah, that one is because of that government telling them what to do. But anyway, yeah. So it's $3.79 between $3.79 to $3.89 is in the Houston area, right?
Yeah.
So now, if I have my laboratory in Liberia, and if government is providing electricity, I don't have to buy gas. Well, it will cost my services to be a little bit cheaper so that the guy in the community can come for services without thinking about the cost, right?
Sure.
And it will reduce my burden. And as it reduces my burden, it helps the community. Okay. Now let's look at the bigger manufacturing companies. Right now, I cannot go to Liberia and say I'm going to open a storage unit. If you open a storage unit in Douala, for example, it will cost you more money to buy a huge generator. So it's creating more difficulty for people who the low man, a middle, we don't have middle class in Liberia, but it's creating difficulty for the middle class if we have some in Liberia to establish their own, to be independent instead of waiting for government.
Here's the problem. Here's the thing that most people are pushing in the country, right? Most people are saying, including government officials, they are saying this, that look, you can go in the direction of solar panel. And I heard that argument. Here's my problem with that. When you say the country can go in the direction of solar panel, where are we getting these solar panels from? Majority of the solar panel coming from China. Yeah. People are getting these things from China, bringing it to Liberia. It is not cheap to install solar panel system in the country. And the maintenance of it is not cheap either. Now, if you, the government, you said, look, Liberia, we have abundance of sunshine. We got sun. We got more than enough solar power. Because of that, as a government, we are going to subsidize the solar panel and make it affordable for the people. Then we speak in my language. But you
Yes.
cannot be saying that people should go in the direction of solar panel when you are not ready to subsidize the process, and you are not even ready to even as a some of your own agency, your own governmental buildings, they stand in ruin, no electricity. We worry about what's going to happen at JFK if someone's having surgery. We worry somebody's having C-section, God forbid, and LEC goes. What happens? So we are talking. We want investors to come to the country, but our grid, our electrical grid, is not equipped to even. Man, we only talking Monrovia. I went. We only talking Monrovia. We cannot even sustain the capital city, and then we want to project ourselves like we are open for business. We are not open for business if we cannot electrify the city.
No. Yeah, so Mr. Sherry, like that's exactly the point that we make all the time. When I hear that, it makes me. You remember when the crime rate was high under the CDC government, and the president said everybody should go buy CCTV.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like our government always stringing the responsibility back to us when we ask for what they said they're going to provide. Then they say, "But what if you do it this way, right? What if you do it that way?" But that is not a solution. Government are put in place to solve the citizens' problem or find solution to the citizens' problem. Okay, but you cannot tell them, "Oh, I don't have this, so you go this." Oh, go and begin new land, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it. But we need to be serious. We need to be intentional. It's one thing for the vice president to identify it, and it's another thing to have a plan, a strategic plan to resolve those problems. What are they doing to really solve the electricity problem? Because this is not something that is new. It is not an emergency. It's something that we have known for more than 2 or 3 decades now, since the war started, in fact, right?
Yep.
And we know the population in Monrovia, and in fact, the population in Liberia is going to continue to increase. It's not going to decrease. It's going to continue to increase.
Yeah.
So what are we doing to mitigate this problem? We can't just keep talking Liberia as Monrovia. In fact, what is it? Monrovia is no longer a city. Let's be realistic, man. Monrovia is a town. I mean, we're going to be real.
The township of Monrovia. Sapalusia. You see, no, I really want to have a good show today. I want to have a good show. Look, bro, I'll tell you the truth. Every night I spend $15 buying 3 gallons of gas to put in that generator every night. $15, man, every night. And so when you look at it, look, man, it's pathetic. But we'll stay on the economic factor for a little bit, okay? Mm-hmm. Because I really like the fact that you started with the community engagement instead of going strictly to the international vendors who want to bring businesses to the country. Because the guy who is selling, I got one of my daughters who is watching the show right now, who is, she does a small business. Usually she goes to realize she buy chicken, she buy meat, and she go and sell her roasted meat or different things. She does all her different things, doing her little business. But think about this for a second. If she goes and buy, she can only buy in small quantities because there is no security that if I buy cartons and cartons of this product, even though when she buy cartons and cartons of that product, it will give her a little bit more benefit, more profit, but she can't. And the reason she cannot afford to do so, because she is thinking, if I buy cartons and cartons of this and I bring that home, and for some reason I cannot sell everything today, tomorrow morning I will have rotten fish, I will have rotten chicken, I will have rotten meat on my hand. And that would be no longer edible. You cannot sell that to people in good faith.
No.
And so a lot of people who are small business vendors, a lot of people who have that small businesses to doing, they cannot buy in bulk. They cannot buy in a higher quantity to get return on investment. So as a result, they are just going around in this circle. They're going around in this circle, buy small fish today, I go and roast it. Tomorrow, I go and buy another small one. That is actually going to lead us to the next sector I want us to talk about. But this is causing serious problem. The uncertainty of being able to run a business effectively due to the lack of electricity is actually impacting the economy of the country.
Yeah, so let's look at what River says is asking, do anyone know? Well, if I were to answer this question, maybe I would get in trouble before they say the dog. Anyway, we already barking dog anyway, so I'm going to back at this. Doctor, my brother River says, pro. The only reason, in my opinion, from my observation, that we don't have a stable electricity as compared to the days before the war, lack of management. That's one. Misappropriation of fund and heavy loaded corruption, consistent corruption. That is why we don't have electricity. Any other thing they tell us is a lie, in my opinion. That's how I answer that question. But maybe Mr. Sherry, who is a nice guy, will answer it in a better way.
Look, I mean, I gotta tell you this. The country is look, man, I'm struggling here. I don't want to say the country is broke.
No.
But basically what is happening is we are not prioritizing what needs to be prioritized. Now, the president, of course, he's a smart man. He's our father. He's been there for a long time in government. He knows, I'll gain the benefit of that. He knows what he's doing. And I would assume that he got a lot of smart people around him that gave him, they call them advisors, that gave him advice on different issues, economic issue, health issue, or educational issue. One of the advisors gave him a good advice, and I think now they got a very good model school in Magibi County that they just recently launched that they are proud of. So, but here's my thing. When it comes to the electricity aspect of that, yes, I may agree with you, Sapalucia. The management piece of that is wrong. But this is what most managers for that LEC have said. I can say my uncle is the director right now for LEC. He's not my real uncle, so don't fight me, my people.
He's trying to put money.
We just got him out. But here's the thing. Most of them, when you push them to the wall, when you press them and say, why is it that we cannot get stable electricity? They will drive you to the point to say, because of power theft. They always point to that for some reason. Because of power theft. There are people who are actually stealing the electricity, and there are those who are paying for it. The people who are stealing it, they are more than the people who are paying. So because of that, we don't have money to continue to bring this power to make it accessible for everybody on the 24 hours. That is the argument. Even though they have had a dedicated department, a dedicated area, a dedicated personnel responsible to run a task force to say that task force is responsible for electric theft in the country. And every now and then you see them all around the place looking at lead pole and cutting wires and doing all of these things. But they still go to the direction by saying, because of power theft, it is difficult for us to get the resources we need to be able to bring power to the city on a 24-hour basis. That is the nice guy way of answering the question, Sapalucia. That's my nice guy way of answering it.
So River says you got your answer, so you can pick from the two.
But no, I mean, the thing is, brother, I got to tell you this. We talk about the economic factor. The economic factor is big. It's really big. Because look, if we have electricity in the country, I'm not saying Morovia, if we have electricity in the country, investors will come, security will improve. We talk about all of those things already. But because of the lack thereof, everybody's sitting on pins and needles, and just know that you only have LEC for a few hours and then it's gone. You cannot operate a business. That is not it is not a way to operate in any advanced society. Yeah.
So if I can just summarize that whole thing. So Liberia is being run like the LEC. Inconsistency. Oh man. So what's the next target on we'll go for?
But my next area I want to go to, though, I really want to go to the healthcare. That's your area. I know you have interest in that area. I want to go to healthcare. And this is where I'm going to start the healthcare issue with electricity. I want to start from my own experience. Like I said, I was in the country for about 3 weeks. And in those 3 weeks, I can tell you that I ran generator in 3 weeks. I can tell you that for a fact. Even if I just ran it for 5 hours or 6 hours, I ran generator for 3 weeks while I was there. My neighbor next door ran generator for the same time I was there, and they still running generator. I was there. They were not turning it on because I was there. They had their own generator. We have our own machine. They had generators. The reason I use the generator analogy, Sapolus, here, when it comes to pollution, because that generator, when we were actually running it, we actually have the nozzle facing outside. Nobody from LEC, nobody from National Public Health, nobody from the public health sector came to me and said, hey, if you're running your generator, you have to build certain things so the exhaust can go somewhere else because you are polluting the city. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And so when I'm putting my generator nozzle out there and it blowing that way, that black smoke behind the fence, and my neighbor is inhaling it, and maybe some of that is also coming back in the house, I'm inhaling it, that pollution issue, nobody talks about that. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, people are getting sicker. People are dying from carbon monoxide. Many people have died in their own houses running generator in our country.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. They don't know that, oh, that carbon monoxide is not supposed to come back in. And people, they go to bed, they turn that thing in, they forgot the next morning when they wake up. I heard a story where someone even turned the thing on inside the house because they didn't want someone to steal the machine. And they didn't wake up the next morning.
Oh, yeah. You remember there was a family from Minnesota. A family from Minnesota that died in Liberia from the same carbon monoxide. There have been a few of those from America here going there and dying, but people put it on witchcraft and all that other stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, they say generator in the house, the people die. They say that witchcraft. But anyway, so
let's talk about the healthcare piece of that, because all these generators that are being ran, all of these different instruments that people are using with no supervision, it is actually causing health concern in the country. And people now go to these hospitals that are not equipped to care for them, and people are dying because they thought they were trying to get electricity. That electricity turned to lung disease or something.
Yeah, and which is also interesting in that they're encouraging us to provide our own solar panel, electricity, or whatever. But one of the things they always they always fail to do, in my opinion, what I saw is education. Anytime you're introducing something new in society, you should provide education or some kind of awareness. But they're not doing that, right? Just because I'm using generator and another guy come and see me using generator, he said, hey, how do you get it? I show him, hey, just turn it on. That's about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it brought me to a point when I went to my hometown 2024 and I seen light poles in the town. Some of the houses are mud houses, zinc houses, just raw zinc, then electric wire. And I asked the people there, I said, okay, they're giving you guys electricity. Did anybody come and train you on how to turn it on, to tell you what the voltage is, to tell you, to give you any? They said, oh no, they just need to put a wire inside out and then put the connector. I said, so you come in the hometown of Baila, a place that have never had electricity from the time I was born. I grew up. My grandfather was born. He grew up. My father did the same. No electricity. Then 2020, 2022, 2023, you introduced electricity. And you did not educate the people on what they needed to do. And most of the people were born and raised right there. They have not gone to the city to see how you run electricity. You're going to just put it there. What I'm saying is, if you are telling people to buy electricity, or buy generators, what did the fire department do to educate the people? What did the EPA do when it comes to environmental exposure? What did public health do when it comes to health hazards, right? And how they can prevent those things. These are all things that the government is responsible for if you are telling us to do those things. Okay. So the health factor, yes, it's a huge, huge problem because carbon monoxide, lung cancer is going to increase. People who are not smoking cigarettes, because that's what we know in Liberia to be the cause of lung cancer. But now people are suffering from lung cancer and say, I never smoked ever. I never smoking like in my whole life. But yet I'm suffering from lung cancer. Why? Because you have been exposed to mostly the generators in your community, because like you said, your fence, your zopper is facing to the guy behind you, and that child is playing in the yard, You giving he's sending out smoke and he inhaling that those smoke and it going to his lung, right? And there is no healthcare research, nothing going on in Liberia. No studies being done to see the impact of all these things that are happening to our people. The exposure to the sun ray right now, like we have all these young people. And like last week I was talking about, I said that's why we have a lot of blind young people in the country. Okay, most young people were our time going to school focusing on children things. These days they got to go and sell, and they sell it in the dust. They're selling it between the cars. They're exposed to so many things, but nobody is trying to do a study to see, okay, what is the impact of this exhaust that we put out, this pollution that we put out from these generators in the city. Let us compare the citizen of where the most populated generators are used, and let's compare cities that don't have generators and see what studies we can do to compare their lungs, their respiratory tract, what's going on there, and do these studies.
But you know, as Dr. George always say, you know what? Serious countries, that's exactly what it will do. Suppose I bet you go and buy a generator today from one of your stores and go put it in your backyard. You'll hear the noise from your HOA. You will hear the noise from your city people. You will hear the noise from your neighbors because everybody knows. Apart from the noise it makes, everybody knows that's a pollution issue. Just imagine here, the car you drive, by the time it starts smoking, they'll be like, take that thing from the street. You're not driving it again. You know?
Yeah.
And so when you look at all of those things, in serious countries, they will do those kind of research. Why we got public health for? We got public health just to be active when COVID hit the country?
No.
We're supposed to be doing research.
Let me tell you what you got public health for. When you got the right person who's trying to do the job, and who not giving you small money in your pocket, you remove him and bring somebody who will give you money in your pocket. That's why they created entities. They are not creating the entities to solve the problem of the Liberian people. They created these entities so they can give account of how they're using the money that they've been given, even though we don't see the product of what they use the money for. But all these different institutions, they just create them to account for. We spent $2 million to public health. We spent $5 million to this other place, but we can't see any output. So to answer your question, that's why they have those institutions.
You know, and then let's go to another factor. I think River Says Pro wants to call you. So if you can respond to him, I think he wants to call you. He wants to come and join the show.
He can call.
Sabalucia, I don't have the capability, but there's a comment here from Ambassador. I want to see Ambassador H. Try to highlight that comment so we can kind of look at it. I want to see exactly.
I didn't even see down here.
Ambassador. Okay, so this is what Ambassador Henry is saying. He just asking those rhetorical questions, right? How large is the city of Monrovia? How large is the nation? I think when we were in high school, we said 43,000 square miles, right? So, and then he goes on. He said, I mean, it's less than that now, Sabalucia, we should say, because of erosion and all those different things. Maybe we should say that. And then, it said the size of Rhode Island is the size of Liberia. Why is it taking more than 200 years for certain things to happen? Why we don't love who we are? We don't have vision. We don't know how to complete. It's really, really sad. We don't know how to compete. It's really, really sad. And so, look, I couldn't agree more with what Ambassador Henry is saying. A small little place, man. When you look at, I like the comparison he makes, because when you look at the annual budget for Rhode Island, right? When you look at that budget, man, it is. I don't want to say triple. I mean, it kills the entire national budget of Liberia. But as small as Rhode Island is, the people that run it, the visions that they have, the different things that they have put in place to be able to meet the needs of the citizens, number one, to be able to compete on the national stage. America is a big 50 states. There are a lot of states competing for businesses. But Rhode Island have some of the most smartest entities in the country because they compete hard. They said, we want that company to come and we'll compete, we'll match they will fight against California. We want that business to come to us. And that is the vision that Ambassador Henry is talking about. That's the vision. And again, Sabalucia, you alluded to this, because if we have visionaries in our country, we have people who actually have love for country. bro, it makes it so much easy. It makes it so much easy for us to be able to do some of these things. But I think I don't want to say the name of the person. Somebody who I'm a good friend of. That person told me like what we need in Liberia is someone who is oh man, revolutionary. Someone who just come and just say, I'm going to take the country from you guys. I'm going to set it up this way, and then after my time, we'll give it right back to you. Yeah, I got Riverside Pro on the call on the line here. So let me just have him add his voice to the broadcast, and then we'll go from there. Hey, Riverside Pro, go ahead. Sabalucha is listening.
Hey, how you guys doing, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, welcome back, Dr. Sherry. I was not going to hold your doctor on it. But guys, are you getting echo? Because I'm using Bluetooth. I mean, am I clear?
No, you're clear. You're clear. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is, do you think the electrical situation or the LEC situation in Liberia has been normalized to the point that it is not as consequential as you guys are discussing it? Because my thing is, here in the United States, when we got electrical outage, you guys can see the consequences. Like right there, my kids' milk is messed up, the butter, the egg, everything. Even at the healthcare level, they got people on ventilator at home and other things. But the fact that Sheriff got to say he's monitoring, he know the time, the current goal. But Sheriff, is that normal? The fact people got a routine, they already know that the current will go 6 o'clock, so they prepare the generator. Does it make the government kind of reluctant the people already know? And then let's come to the industrial level. You guys talk about the commercial, because I don't often hear people complain these companies turn away. Look at the mining sector. Look at all these people. It seems to me like they cut a deal with the government. Yeah, my man, you come here, we don't have stable LEC, so you can bring your own generator. If you're supposed to be giving this amount, we give you a deal on it. The only one time I heard about this whole thing with Jeria mess up, where I think Colin went at the Robert International Airport, and I think it was Air Brussels turned around. That's when it became a big, because the opposition used it as a point. But otherwise, I don't know, guys. Do you think the current situation has become normalized, that it is not as like we in America we will feel it, but the people in Liberia, the government got it used to it? Is that a good thing? Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate the question. Thank you so much.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if I can chime in. So he asked if it's consequential. Yeah, it is. It's having a huge consequence on the country, on the life of the people, the daily life. People are dying because of lack of electricity every day in Monrovia and the rest of the country. People are dying every day. But this is what I can tell you, Riverside Pro. The leaders do not care. That is why it is the way it is. Because they don't care. Let me tell you, in Houston, if the power was to go off and one person died in the hospital because of that, in fact, just 2 years ago, 2022, when we had a freeze, right? When the freeze, this was a natural disaster. Natural disaster took place. It froze the electrical grid. All right, and people died. They sued that company. They sued Texas, and they had to find a remedy. Right? So, but in Liberia, however, when these things happen, the citizens are okay with it because, according to them, their masters or their gods, because that's how they look at these politicians they elect, their gods are better off. And once their gods are better off, they don't care what happened to them. That's the kind of it's sad. It is so sad that when the people elect these people, they put it so high that they think these people are gods and they are nothing. Their life worth nothing. River says, think about it. What you're just making me to think more. Think about what happened in Liberia. When a lawmaker that is elected in a district, he is elected to represent these people, go in the house, all he asks for is more benefit for him, more benefit for him, more benefit for him, more benefit for him. And then the district in which he lives, no clinic, no school, no electricity, no road network, no water system, but the people are okay with it. But as soon as somebody called that man out for doing the wrong thing, those very people will start telling you, oh, he's our lawmaker, we elected him, don't do this or don't do that to him. That's what it has become. Because the people have shown themselves that, look, once you are down there, you're worth nothing. We who up here, we are the gods, and whatever we say or whatever we do, just say it's okay. And whatever we tell you, believe it and keep living. That is why the situation, in fact, no sector is improving. That's the reason. And unfortunately, it is unfortunate and sad, but that's how I see it.
So, one of the pieces Rivers Pro asked also in that question was, has this electrical grid, the whole system, has it become so normalized, right? And it's sad to say, but Rivers Pro, yes, it has become normalized. And just like I'm telling you, I knew the schedule when I was there. I just came to a point where I accepted it. I just came to a point where I accepted it because absolutely there's nothing I can do to change anything. But I can rest you assured, Sapalucia and Mr. Rivers Pro, I can rest you assured, me being as vocal as I am, I can rest you assured, if I was to reside in a particular community, my community chairperson will be hearing from me. And my representative in that district will be hearing from me. Maybe I'll be so much thorn in the flesh of that person because I know my rights. I know exactly what is expected of the government. I know what I voted for. But if for some reason, if you do not know, again, this is where I say stuff. My good friends, anybody can say, oh, they're talking down on like, not talking down anybody. I think this is by design. Our people did this by design. Our leaders did this by design to take away our knowledge of our civic power. And because they did that, we don't know what we elected these people for. And when we don't know that we can actually challenge that lawmaker and say, look, this is our district. We are having serious medical issue in this district because there's no running water. We are having serious issue in this country because there is no ventilation. We are having a lot of sicknesses because of all these generators blowing in our district. People don't know. So it has become normalized. Let me tell you this, Sapalucia. I know the schedule. I can tell you how LEC will come. LEC, when it comes first, it comes, poof, it just go like that. And then it blink. It's not ready. It's not there yet. And then it kind of get chip, and then go back. It's not there yet.
Test drive.
It comes back the third time, and then boom, everybody say, hey, Corbin, yeah. So once you start to see that blinking, that's how houses are getting on fire. That's how things are getting destroyed because they're using all of these Chinese wires to run in people's houses. That's how things are happening in the country. So I knew the schedule. It has become normalized and the people accept it. They don't know that they can actually go to the lawmakers. They don't know that they can actually protest. They don't know that they can use their voices because they brought those people in office. Dr. Positive, how you doing, boss?
Welcome, Dr. Positive. The guy is enjoying his air condition, as you can see. He may enjoy his air condition over there.
Air condition. Well, anyway, thank you. Not natural air condition, but I'm not inside. I'm sitting outside on the porch. Today, Mother's Day, so I'm hanging with the old man outside. We all sitting outside. But gentlemen, you guys talking about a representative doing something for his community. The representative doesn't first have his own budget for his community, right? So how can he be the one to lead any development in his community?
I was not listening to you. Say that thing one more time. So, I'm so sorry, Dr. Paul. Say that thing one more time. I was not listening.
So the representative in the community doesn't control the budget of his community. Rhode Island, the smallest city in Rhode Island, like you were talking about, the city mayor control the budget for the city, or he at least have something to do with the development in the city. In Monrovia here or in Liberia here, that doesn't happen. The development in every city is based on the president's desire and the president's wish to develop in those areas. So that's the sad thing we have in Liberia here. And I'm in Kawe, I don't know where you are, Sharif. We have the road all the way past Louisiana, you have Kota. Then after Louisiana, you have Dusty Road all the way going to Bento. And guys, I have pictures to show you. 1960 or 1970 to 19 whatever, the road that Todman and Turbo built is still there. It's still there, brother. That was the development that area ever got, the most development that area ever got, and was done by a president. So that's how sad it is. If the president interest is not in an area, that area is not going to get development. And I just wanted to add that to your show. I know I'm an impromptu guest.
Stay there, don't go. Stay
but
there
the points you're making that is positive, and I will counter that. Right? The lawmakers, the Constitution gave them rights to oversight of the executive. If my district does not have power, if my district does not have clinic, if my district does not have any of those things I will just name, and I have oversight of the budget that comes in, I cannot sign that budget if the people that I'm serving, if I have them at heart and I have the will, I will ensure that before I sign that budget, the president will account for that. If he doesn't, I will have to call his minister or whoever is responsible to the house. That's their right. That's their duty. Let me tell you that I'm going based on the Constitution. It's there. They can even impeach. They can impeach ministers. It's written in the Constitution of Liberia. So just because the lawmakers have become gullible and don't care for the citizen, we shouldn't try and sit there and make excuses for that. That is not accurate to say, yes, they may not have the hand to deliver the money, but let not forget also, when Ellen Johnson was in power, she also initiated what they call the county development that goes to the various district as well. So if
I will do your, I'm not interrupting you, but I will, right? I'm going to do you a favor. I will I will get my city representative contact information. I will go to him and ask him for his city development. I'm on the airfield. I'm on the airfield and I'm in Caldwell. So I will do one of two. If the person that can give me.
I know. So
hold on. Sapolosia, please. I don't have time. No. You finishing my data. Sapolosia. Right? So I'm gonna go and ask my representative for his budget, his city planning budget. And if I get that for you, Sapolosia, I'm going to tell Liberia to detain me in Liberia. I will not come back to America.
I already know. I work with the city mayors in Liberia, so I already know how it works. So don't waste your time. But he doesn't have it.
Stevie, don't waste your time. Right? Your city they don't have that budget power.
They don't have it.
But here's the thing. Stevie. So here's the thing. Okay, I know the Oma want to enjoy her Mother's Day. So let's do this. Let's do this. Stephen, all of your representatives, all of your senators, all of these people that we hold in high esteem, right? When they go to actually look at this budget, they look at that budget with fine comb. They put something in there that they call that development fund. And that development fund is supposed to use to develop that district development fund. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's supposed to be used to develop the district. Now, if I have that fund, but majority, the funny thing about this is this. Majority of the people, even though that fund is in there, I mean, you saw Yeke Koluba, District 10. He was showing some kind of bridge that he said he fixing his district. He fixing his district. That by the time the CCC came, the entire bridge was washed away. But they have that district development fund. So let me say this. Stephen, you live in a sophisticated society. Your representative, when they come, they have that town hall. At least I always go to my town hall. When they come, they have that town hall. They're giving you report on what they have done for you from Washington, D.C. I'm sitting in Washington, D.C. This is what I'm doing for my district. This is how many companies we have in the district. This is how many schools. This is what we're advocating for. They give you report, right? How many lawmakers in our country can actually come back to that district? The only person I really see active most of the time when he was in that office was Yeke. When he would do his little town hall, but it was never to give report, but was to cause people, to tell people how he felt about them. That was his town hall. He will call them national issue. But I'm just saying, Stephen, to cut the matter short, not to burn your data, brother. They have development fund. So the thing we can do, let the government take away that development fund. And let the representatives say, look, these are the issues that my district wants, and then let they allocate budget for that particular
so
thing.
Sharif, right? That's not
we want LEC.
No, this I got LEC today, so man, I got current. I can brag that I get current today. You know what my nephew said? He said LEC can be coughing. Like you are saying, Sherry, the LEC can cough.
Yeah.
the picking is about 6 or 7 years old, and he was telling his grandma, he said, oh, LEC coughing. Then the Omar was like, oh, LEC coughing, are we alone here to cough? You know, so that's what the people have here. But Sharif, right, realistically, right, Liberia is almost going to 200 years. Or I mean, we got short time to reach to 200 years. When will we have our development done by the people that are running our communities, right? And I just made an example of Bento, right? President Todman had his house there. President Tobol had his house there. Once they left office, that whole area of development died, and it's been there for over 40, 50 years. And they have representative. They said the representative, what he built there was nightclub. The one that was representing Bento. The only development he brought to Bento was a nightclub. And that's what they have there in Bento. But it's sad that we almost 200 years old and our development is only being led by one person, which is the president, and that needs to change. And I mean, I don't want to change what you guys were flowing with, but Sapolosia, you know the Constitution is that when impeach people want to do this. But brother, I don't know how we can make this happen. So maybe help us understand how we can make it happen for our representative.
So Stephen, here's the last thing I want to say here before you run out. Look, the president is not supposed to be the one running developmental issues in the country. That's the mistake you keep making.
Thank you.
They'll keep making.
No, it's not me. I'm just saying that that's what the country is doing.
Yeah. So then let's do exactly what I have been saying. Get rid of the House. Get rid of these people. Let's get rid of the legislature and kill it and there are countries that are thriving in the world that do not have this legislative system and they're doing great. Let's get rid of them. Get rid of them. And the Bento that you're talking about, and your capital city, and Monserrado County capital city.
Yep.
If you say no development in your county, then you talk to your superintendent. You talk to your senators. You talk to your representative. That's your capital city.
You mean he downtown Bento?
No, yeah, I would try, but like you said, I would just be putting, they say oil on what they call bag, right? Water on top of bag or something like that. Yeah, but anyway, great conversation, gentlemen.
Yeah, but thank you for joining us, man. Sapolosia, let's
Sapolosia have been killing me. Today I get data. Today I got LEC. I can join your probably. At least so you can know that I'm forgettable like Russia rise.
No. Take that back. Friday or Saturday.
Man,
probably doing you guys.
So Sherry, I'm out of town. I was trying to allocate 45 minutes, but I'm going 1 hour, so I'm out of time.
Yeah. So basically, no, Stephen, thank you for joining us. We wish happy Mother's Day to our mom, and in my brother, that's what they say, our mom.
You can see the Oma. Let extend happy Mother's Day to the Oma.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can flip the camera. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Yeah, she's right.
Oh, there she is.
Hello, happy Mother's Day, Oma.
Happy Mother's Day to you, Mama. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good to see you. Steven, bring fan. They go my sweating. They go my sweating. Now, what we're talking about? Look, Sapo, this is what I want you to do. Sapo Lucia, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry we're ending the show. But you see behind Steven, you see how that window is actually, that's a safety hazard. That's what we've always been talking about. That's a safety concern. In case, God forbid, in case of fire, when are you breaking that window to get out? When are you breaking that window to get out?
Well, the door we have to put iron.
You know, because of the crime situation and the LEC issue, all of that contribute to what we talk about. So you got to safeguard yourself, and that is a serious concern that nobody should have to deal with.
Yeah.
Well,
and when there's a fire,
I think this is my solution to the LEC problem. Okay, we don't let it just criticize. I'll give you a solution. The solution for Liberian LEC problem is to privatize that sector. Privatize, and privatize.
I disagree, my man.
Run the show great. I never disagree. But this one, I disagree with you.
I disagree, my man. I disagree.
Now, if as long as you have LEC under the government, it's not going to do anything. We have had it for almost 200 years. It have not improved. If you privatize it today, and I'll keep saying it, telecommunication have proven to us that you don't need the government to run an entity for it to be successful. If you privatize LEC,
but nobody will steal telecommunication. You're stealing people data. Steven bought data and like, bro, asking how many data.
It doesn't matter. The fact that when you pay for it, it will be stable. When you pay for it, it will be stable. When you privatize LEC, no one will steal LEC current. Right now, Steve cannot steal data. When Frank Cable was when we had telecommunication, I could go and pay $5 and get on the side and call. But if we privatize LEC, the private sector own it, they will make sure it run effective because they look at the bottom line.
So Sabolosa is saying LEC is failing because the government is corrupt and because the government is not managing LEC well. That's what you're saying.
Don't tell what the man said. You tell your own.
No, you just saying it for me. Thank you for just backing my statement up. But privatize. That is the solution to the LEC problem.
No, but tell me, let me say Sabolosa, right? Mm-hmm. The government is one of the greatest employers in Liberia, right? And I think no. Let me say one of the largest. Let me tell you, one of the largest employer in Liberia, right? Mm-hmm. So the government need more means of creating jobs. So for me, I disagree with you for LEC privatization because a lot of money have been invested in LEC over the years. I believe we need maybe to revisit how things are being done. People want current. There's businesses that are being destroyed. People selling their cold water. The water can get cold. By the time the water get cold, get into the temperature for it to get cold, LEC go. It doesn't come back to the next morning. You understand? And if the Liberian people were suing the Liberian government to make sure that this thing gets fixed eventually, by now maybe the government will fix it. You understand? But we have to look on the underlying problem. What is causing this coughing LEC for us to have a LEC that cough? What is causing that problem? So it's our investigation to do. Sadly, we have a system here that you can go anywhere and ask questions and people give you answer easily. So that's something that we can pull from them that easy. So until we have a somebody that understands the business of making money, running LEC will continue failing because the person running LEC right now may not understand how much money they are losing every time they turn the light off, every time they cough, every time they sneeze. You understand? So we need to talk to the managing director and say, listen, you're losing billions of dollars because every time they let go of, you're losing your customer or your customers are being impacted. So I don't know how to say it, but maybe one of us have to file a lawsuit when our refrigerator spoil and sue LEC and say, because your light was coughing, my refrigerator spoiled, so I need you to pay for it. If 100,000 people do it, maybe the system will get fixed.
Look at it, man. You like, bro, $6.2 million loss. They can't find anybody guilty. They're gonna go sue. I mean, look, you make it late. You're not gonna be whole. You're not gonna be whole all year forever. So, gentlemen, but if you guys want to steal, you can steal. But I gotta go, man.
But
no, guys, man, you always running. You always running. That's cool.
It has been a good conversation. Dr. Positive, enjoy your stay. You know, go and
I miss your small. I don't want to sound like a girl, but I miss your small. So I'll be coming back soon. Yeah, I'll be coming back soon.
But you know, the thing is, you say you miss her, but for all we happy you're not here. So just go. I'm messing with you, bro. I'm messing with you.
I know, Sherry. I know you. So no problem, man. No problem.
All right,
but listen. So,
man, you can't
let me close the show for you.
Let me help you close. Come all here. We gotta go. We'll be here for more than an hour.
Let me help you close the show. Let me help you close the show.
So Sherry, let me close the show.
Man, put me full screen. All right, to everybody again, listen, this is Dr. Positive. I came down here to see my beautiful mother. This is where I got all my fineness from, right? This is where I got my fineness from. So I came to spend some time with her. Hopefully I'll be back with you guys in the US sometime soon. But again, thanks for keep following us. Thanks for all the support. Keep sharing the show. We'll keep talking, having these great discussions. I want to thank my team for all they are doing to keep the platform running while I'm away. But again, thank you all. River Says Pro, I see Ambassador Herring, Sylvester, all of you guys. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for watching. If it's your first time watching, please follow us. We need to grow. You know, we're too old now for us to be on the same level. So please tell your friend, tell your friend, tell everybody you know about Liberia Shall Rise. We need your help. We are doing great things here, and I think we need your support to make this platform greater than it is right now. So I want to thank you guys again, Sherry, Sapolosia. You guys, thank you so much. Have a great day, and you stay blessed, and all the best to all of you. Thank you. Sherry, if you can end the show.
Thank you, boss.
All right.
I want to recognize Ben, and let me see who else. JT, and all those Emmanuel Payne, because those are the first time Francis.
Sylvester Bincy.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Lopu and so forth. And also want to take this time to wish my beautiful wife happy Mother's Day. Love you guys.
All right, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to every woman out there. Thank you so much. All the best to you guys. Enjoy.
All right, you guys take it easy, man. You know.
All right, sir.
Yeah, you can turn the show off and us off.